Hello, viewers. I'm Simon Preston, and this is Reggae Boys Commentary. In this edition of Reggae Boys Commentary, I just want to share pieces of interesting information about Portland Timbers in Major League Soccer. So, what I'm going to do for you is show you something interesting in relation to the players that are part of this roster. Now, if you examine the first team of Portland Timbers, which is coached by Caleb Porto, and of course, Portland Timbers are the defending champions of 2015. Portland Timbers has four Jamaicans in their first team. Alvis Powell, who wears the number 2 jersey, Jermaine Taylor, the number 4, Darren Muttocks, the 22 jersey, and Nico Brett, the number 25 jersey. Isn't that interesting? If you look at the squad, bar Americans in the squad, except Americans in the squad, Jamaica is the most populated nationality in the team. You can say there's 2 Argentines in the team, there's a Colombian, there's a Nigerian, there's a Ghanaian, there's a Colombian, there's a New Zealander, there's a few English players, 3 English players, but 4 Jamaicans. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? Is there any explanation as a result of this? Well, Caleb Porter, who was Darren Muttocks' head coach at Akron University in the NCAA Division 1, he was his head coach, and Caleb Porter always had an eye on for Jamaicans. Same for Macaulay Tulloch during his period of time as well, who used to play with Harbour View. Caleb Porter is that type of coach that likes speed, focus, and talent. And he says that Jamaicans carry these 3 sorts of attributes that helped him to blossom into the professional footballers that we've seen today. Is it worth a gamble? Yes. And guess what? If you look in the reserves team of Portland Timbers, or as they like to call it, the second team, there's 2 Jamaicans in it. You have Andre L.A. Lewis. Remember, he played for Jamaica at the Under-17 FIFA World Cup in 2011, where he scored against France. And also Renico Clark. Who's Renico Clark? Do you remember who Renico Clark is? Renico Clark is a 20-year-old defender. He's 6 feet 4 inches tall. Used to play for Harborview as well, also was part of Jamaica Under-20 setup. So that's basically a few pieces of information on Renico Clark. Andrew Edwards had high expectations for him as well, and said that he would be playing in the professional leagues very soon and overseas. And look where he is today, on the cusp of the MLS. And we do wish him all the best as things progress from there on in. So, very interesting signs ahead for Jamaican players. Has this sort of model ever been used before? Yes, and it was used by Tony Pulis when he was at Stoke City, their first season in the Premier League. He used 6 players who were Senegalese internationals. And these 6 players, this was at the same time Ricardo Fuller and Demar Phillips were at the club, by the way. In Stoke City's first season in the Premier League, he had 6 Senegalese players, and these were Salif Diao, Amdi Faye, Abdoulaye Faye, Henri Camara, Ibrahima Sonko, and also Henri Camara as well, who were the other players part of this as well. And Stoke City finished 12th that season. Can you believe that? 12th that season. Unbelievable, I tell you. Many experts were even expecting them to go down that same year. Bottom of the table, West Brom to follow them as well, and Hull City, I would think, maybe would survive, which they did. But at the same time, what Stoke City did that season was brilliant, and those Senegalese players were key in that sort of style that Tony Pulis wanted, with that physical, imposing presence, the hard man up top, and of course Ricardo Fuller, who was sort of like a fox in the box, in a way you could say. So what is happening with Caleb Porter is that he's trying to mold his team and the core of his team around Jamaican players. And why is this good for Jamaica and for us Reggae Boys internationally? It will develop a sort of chemistry and cohesion in the team already. We saw when Adrian Mariappa and Naira Nusra, they were at Watford, the chemistry that there, and when they were put in the national team on their debut, they were splendid, quite expeditious on the day. Remember at Houston Dynamo a few years ago as well, there was Lovell Palmer, Jermaine Taylor, and Will Palmer, Jermaine Taylor, Javon Watson. The trio of Jamaicans at the same club, and later went on to go and win the Caribbean Cup in 2010 as well. So those three players formed a core of that team as well for Houston. And internationally, they played a number of more appearances, and you could see where they made an impact. And I am very pleased about this sort of move, you could say, by Caleb Porter. I think he's a very, very hardworking coach. Still young as well. He's only 41, and I think he has the potential to be a successor to Jurgen Klinsmann in the future. He's coached the under 23 team for the US already, as well as coaching Akron and Indiana University being an assistant. But I just think the senior team is definitely an opportunity for him as well in the near future. I'm admiring what he's doing for Jamaican internationals, and I do think that there is a possibility that there's greater things to come from him and that more will be done for Jamaican internationals. What does this mean for the Jamaican players moving forward? Well, this is exactly what's going to happen. Jermaine Taylor, as we know, Alvis Powell are, you could say, regular members of the Jamaican team. We didn't see Alvis Powell recently, but he's a part of the national setup. Nico Brett, he hasn't played since scoring that brilliant goal for Jamaica at the under-20 level, losing 2-1 to Honduras at the under-20 CONCACAF Championship in Guatemala. That was in 2011. But I still think that he'll be able to make his Jamaican debut soon. This is key because we have the Caribbean Cup coming up, and these players are going to form a very significant part of the Caribbean Cup squad, I believe, and these players are crucial, especially Jermaine Taylor. I think there was a period of time during Jermaine Taylor's career where, as it relates to his performances, he was quite dodgy, and you could see him being anxious in his decision-making at time. But I think that the introduction of Adrian Mariappa to the Jamaican team in 2012 really helped him to mellow out a little and take his time with the decision-making, because there are occasions where he has acres of space on the ball, but sometimes it's lost. But at the same time, I do think that it is a chance for him to really cement himself into the Jamaican team, whether it's right back or centre half, depending on the occasion. Reggae Boys fans, don't forget as well to leave your comments below as well. I do have one question from somebody, so if you have any more questions, all viewers watching right now, do send in your comments below. There is a question from Nicholas Smith. Can you shed some light on the Leon Bailey situation? Thank you for that, Nicholas. What I will say about this matter is that I'm going to do a more in-depth video on the Leon Bailey situation, and you are to look out for that in the next couple of days to weeks to look out for that. What I can say for now is that Leon Bailey has done tremendously well, stamping his authority in the Belgian league at just only 18 years old. I think he'll be 19 in August. I think he's going on to a fantastic career. So there is a lot to look out for this wonderful player. Kyle as well. A lot of people might say, do you think because of his size, if he'll be able to handle the European leagues? Because I'm not sure. I think he's 5'5", I think. But we've seen short players done extremely well in Europe. Diego Maradona, 5 feet 4 inches tall, and we see what he has done, and the rest is history. Lionel Messi, 5 feet 6 inches tall. I do believe that there's a certain style that fits you, and I think developing as a professional, you will develop that style and develop into the footballer that you would like to be. So we'll just have to wait and see how the progress goes for Kyle. But for Leon, I think he's going bound for a Champions League team to take up his services. Who knows if it's in England? I'm not sure, because with the whole Brexit thing of England leaving the United Kingdom, well, the UK leaving the EU, sorry. If you're going to need passports and the work permit process is much more difficult, I'm not sure how that is going to do. We're going to have to wait and see over the next 24 months to see what exactly will happen. So we're just going to have to wait and see where that is concerned, what will happen over the next couple of months or so. Nicholas says respect. So thanks very much, Nicholas. Any other questions you would like? do send them in, and that goes for all viewers as well. So you can all keep an eye on for that as well. Another thing that I would like to share with you when we're speaking about the Portland Timbers in the MLS is they are recently new franchise, because they came into the MLS in 2009. I remember Donovan Ricketts playing against them in their first ever match. So they've been in existence 6 years and they've come up with a title like that. It's quite splendid, I tell you. And Caleb Porter has a title under his belt already. Remember, Michael Seaton was part of the team last year. I didn't get to see much action, but at the same time, he was part of the team and he got a medal under his belt. So wonderful. If you look at Portland Timbers this season, what I wanted to share with you all is in their regular season, there has been some choppy performances here and there, but their home form, solid, brilliant. They've conceded a few goals here and here, but they've always ensured that they've won matches. Like their match on June 26th when they played against Houston, they won 3-2. If you look at when they played San Jose, they won 1-0. Back in the Cascadia Cup, they beat the Vancouver Whitecaps 4-2, and Jamaicans are involved in those performances as well. Key players, part of this team, and I'm just happy that the MLS team has seen this from Jamaica, and that there will be more coming forward in the near future from the MLS, because Jamaicans have really made the MLS a sort of a home for them. We've seen Dane Richardson, Will there, Tyrone Marshall, Donovan Ricketts. So I'd love to see the MLS to be a real home for players, especially for those coming in the back end of their career, like a Joby McAnuff. I would like to see him there. I hope he signs a deal with Minnesota United soon. Adrian Mariappa is 30 now. I think that by the time he's 34, 35, I think the MLS would be a good league to sign out on his career with. I think it would be a pleasant move, because I do think he has a lot to offer for Jamaica. At least half a dozen more years, to be honest, 6 more years to offer to Jamaica. Doesn't have to be only World Cup qualifying he plays. Can be Caribbean Cup, Gold Cup, friendlies. He's committed to the national colours, and he'll break a leg for you. That's how much he loves our country. Passion, pride, determination. Although talent is important, it is a very small thing needed as a professional. You need the drive, the desire, and the determination to reach to the top. Adrian Mariappa, Premier League player. And he was in the championship at 18, 19, and he and Wes Morgan for me are definitions of hard work. And to see them in the MLS in the near future, that'll be interesting, wouldn't it? I would love to see something like that. It would be a pleasant sight, you could say. So I'm looking forward to that sort of experience. So it's wonderful. You look at Tim Howard, who's back in the MLS as well. I don't like the term that says it's a retirement league, because it is improving, and I do believe there's going to be a chance coming where the MLS is going to not necessarily be on par with the Premier League, but the talent pool is getting better in the MLS. Rafael Marquez didn't have to go to the MLS immediately after Barcelona. He didn't have to. He could still play in Europe another 3-4 years to me. But, we all make our different decisions. Reggae Boys fans, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary, and also to like our Facebook page as well, Reggae Boys Commentary. Go on that Facebook page, leave your comments below, any question you would like to ask me, if you want to discuss, or any doubts on players, statistics, figures, team info, leave them in the comments below, and I will do my very best to give you the answers. Can be senior team, under 20, under 17, women's team, women's youth teams, futsal team, beach football team, all teams. Let me know, because my aim is to bring all this sort of information to you, the viewers. The women's are in action soon, actually. The under 15 level in Orlando, the CONCACAF under 15 championship. Yeah, I really wish that tournament still had Jeffrey Webb, because it was him that organized that tournament and gave it the real push. And Yes, there's a reason why it's nothing came on this year, because he's in trouble. So one of those things, you just have to, when you're making decisions in life, make sure it's credible and it's the right one. That's exactly what Jeffrey Webb has to do in the near future. What else would I like? There's one more question that I would like to. There's one more question being asked from Nicholas Smith before signing out for this evening. Do you think local players would do better than the current crop of players? I think this set of players are the best we had for a long while. I don't think the local based players can cut it. Nicholas, thank you very much. Nicholas Smith, thank you very much for your question. Just to repeat it, do you think that local players would do better than the current crop of players? Okay. I personally believe that local players do add a different dimension to a Jamaican team, but I would not have local players as the bulk of the team. I think the cream of the crop of the National Premier League here in Jamaica needs to be selected. We have our challenges, like the fields is one issue. Sometimes there's some coaching issues that needs to be sorted out. Players need to be treated as professionals and get salaries, because there's been occasions, especially on a show in Jamaica called Football GPS, where some players are crying that at the end of the season in May, June, they're going to go look a job. They just played 9 months of a season. Football is their life, and they're going to go and look at work? Really? They're professionals. Look at professionals all across the globe. They're going on vacation. They're going to LA, Vegas, Dubai from their hard-earned money that they had in the 9 months of the season. Why are our professionals going to go look at work? The money that they earn in the league should be able to support that. Players in our league get 20,000 a month, 25, 30. Really? That's peanuts. That's horrible. Am I in embrace of the franchise model? The franchise model of the Premier League could give more opportunities. Sorry to go on a tangent there, Nicholas, but I would just have a few of the local players part of the crew. As I mentioned in a video earlier today, Rosario Harriet, definitely part of my senior team setup. Andrew Vanzi, Michael Binns. If I had to have a local keeper, Javin Sean Paul, yeah. Nico Campbell, yeah. Siobhan Marsh, definitely, as a local player, will be part of my team. Ricardo Morris, yeah. So those players will be part of my fringes for sure. Jamaica has so much potential, honestly. If you look at the raw talent that is here, once there's guidance, we can achieve similar things to what our track and field athletics team has achieved. Not necessarily in the sense of winning the World Cup right away, but we can compete with the best in the world. We can. Not right now, but once things are more organized, everybody does what they're supposed to do, I think it will be well. And I'm for young people getting an opportunity. There's also another young player at Arnett Garden, Vishnal Harris. He is another player I'd have in the national setup. So, as it relates to, what was I saying again? National setup, yeah. Young persons need to be given more of an opportunity. We've seen it in all aspects of life, where you have a man who is in this industry 30 odd years, and a young person just coming out of university, and this person is going to say, I'm not going to make this young person come in front of me. I've waited 50 years for this opportunity. I'm not going to make this young person come. Let's remove that mindset, all right? Young people bring new ideas, fresh ideas, young blood, new ideas to the table. Not necessarily from the playing standpoint, but from an admin perspective at the club's level here in Jamaica. The parish associations, they need to play a vital role as well. If you look at, brilliant example. Do you know how old the chairman of Wigan Athletic Football Club is? He's 24 years old. Yes, you could say that there is some form of nepotism where the grandfather passed down the club to his grandson so that he can run it while the grandfather goes and enjoys his life in his 80s in Barbados. But he's giving responsibility to a 24-year-old. He trusts his young people. He grants stability. Who is this young person? This young person is David Sharp. He was born in 1991. Sorry, he was born in May, so he's 25 now. A 25-year-old who is the chairman of a football club. And you see where Wigan is now? Despite all the chaos, they're back in the championship. Could be back in the Premier League next season too. We're just going to have to wait and see. Young persons deserve an opportunity. When I've been grateful for my opportunities, I honestly have. When I was 16, became a football analyst here in Jamaica, and I was grateful for that experience. And year after year, I've been given more opportunities. And at 19 years old, I won the Prime Minister's Youth Award in journalism, the youngest person in the Caribbean to get that. And honestly, to me, I've been grateful, and I do think that there is more to come. But speaking of persons in other industries, young persons do need that, and especially in football, that is exactly what you need. Give the youngsters an opportunity, and they will surprise you. Look what Sir Alex Ferguson did in 1992. You see what happened 7 years later? They won the Champions League. Just look out for some key faces at Manchester United this season coming up. Next season, you could say Joe Rothwell, Marcus Rashford, Angel Gomez, Regan Poole, and there's another player, Roshan Williams. These young players are going to bow into action. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, of course. Clubs are giving players opportunities, and so are national teams. Do you know how old Landon Donovan was when he made his debut for the United States? 19. Luton Shelton, 19 as well for Jamaica. We need to realize that we're in a time period where, especially with the technological advances we've made, what the young people are learning in school nowadays, they bring a fresh approach to things. It was even Alan Einstein that says if you do the same thing over and over and again and expect different results, then you're a madman, basically. You're mad. Simple. You're mad. Simple as that. And if you try something different and it works out for the best, it's the best feeling in the world. The ultimate best feeling in the world, I tell you. So if we're able to put up whatever differences there behind us, this country can move forward and move to great things. Honestly. And Nicholas has left another comment here. The coaches in the island are somewhat not professional, especially at the youth level. Another comment, he said, I hope Alex Marshall does not get lost in the system. Okay, let me address the coaching issue first. I'm going to start from the basic level, grassroots. In 2013? In 2012, we started an initiative called Grassroots Project, where once a month, go to a different parish in Jamaica and establish this, where youngsters between the ages of 6 and 12 engage in football and learn the basics and the rudiments of the game. It's good, but you're going to a different parish every month. So basically, if I live in Kingston and I had a grassroots clinic in Kingston, the next grassroots clinic is not going to be until this time next year. You need continuity. You need continuity. You need vibrance. You need togetherness. You need it to be together. I was reading on the Guyanese football forum one day that they're just starting to look players for the under-17 qualifiers. The qualifiers start in the next few weeks. You can't start preparation 2 weeks before a tournament. That's madness. Of course, there are issues relating to funding and everything like that, and it just shows that FIFA needs more support. And I think what Sepp Blatter did well, despite his shenanigans, is he helped the third world countries very much. Africa, CONCACAF, and Asia. It was João Havelange, the FIFA president during the '94 World Cup, who is now 100 years old in Brazil. He said to Sir Stanley Rouse after he won the FIFA presidency back a couple of decades ago, Stanley Rouse, if you don't see that the future of football comes in Asia, from CONCACAF, and from Africa, there is no point in me speaking to you. Now look at the talent that the three regions have produced. There you go. And this region, such as CONCACAF, is significantly, and specifically the Caribbean, it needs support as well. They do. We think about the British overseas territories like the Cayman Islands, Anguilla, Montserrat, Bermuda. They can get help from England. That's not a problem. Guadeloupe, Martinique, they can get help from France. Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, they can get help from the Dutch, from the Netherlands. But the independent countries, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Guyana, Barbados, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Antigua, Grenada, Dominica, and a host of others, they need help. We need to stop playing football matches on cricket pitches. That needs to stop. There is something that we need to appeal to the world that the funding needs to be increased. With more funding, we'll be able to improve on these things. The quality of football will improve, and the results on the pitch will be better. I want to see the Caribbean Cup one day. I've seen it being broadcast on Fox Soccer Channel, but I would like to see it done so on a more consistent basis. Build the brand around, because the Caribbean is an untapped market for talent. I don't think people really understand about what the Caribbean has to offer, and especially in the shows that we're going to have on Mondays on Caribbean Football Weekly, we're going to show you exactly what the Caribbean has to offer. Definitely. So it's something for everyone to keep a very, very close eye on. So it's a wonderful opportunity there. Nicholas also says, I hope Alex Marshall does not get lost in the system. One of the very few local upcoming talents I adore. Yeah, Nicholas, I agree in the sense that, he is an upcoming talent, and what I do ask of him is that he stays grounded, because he's at an age where there's going to be pressure from all angles, especially the use of social media. You have to be very careful what you do for advances from the opposite sex as well. So he has to stay grounded and know what he wants to do in life, because there's going to be people out there that are going to try and ruin his mojo. So if you know what you want in life, work hard towards it, and I think he'll be a good professional once he hones his skills every day, work on his touches, and also his shooting ability. And I think from there on in, he'll grow to be a wonderful player, and one that will keep a very, very close eye on in the near future. So that's about it for Reggae Boys commentary for this evening. I'm Simon Preston. This is Reggae Boys commentary. Don't forget to like our Facebook page as well. As I said before, and also to like the page, like the Reggae Boys commentary page. And in addition to that, to share to your friends as well about Reggae Boys commentary. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm pleased to announce that we have the head presenter of Arsenal Fan TV, Robbie Lyle, who has subscribed and been in touch with me. So Thank you very much, Robbie. We really appreciate you, and especially thank you for tuning in this evening as well. Robbie Lyle, of course, is a man of Jamaican heritage as well, and he's the key presenter of Arsenal Fan TV. So thank you very much, Robbie. And also thanks to Nathan Carr as well, who has been providing a lot of information around the Caribbean as well, and also to Santoki Nagu, who's done very well Caribbean coverage in Europe as well. So they've done very well. So I'm Simon Preston. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more content tomorrow. Have a pleasant evening wherever you are across the globe. Good evening, good morning, good night. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.